Dallas or LA?
Skip, I always felt this was going to be a very challenging ball game. Before, I thought they were going to be without their two best pass rushers, arguably their best defensive player, DeMarcus Lawrence. And now the one thing that we've seen from the Cowboys is that they don't do a great job of generating pressure, Skip. Yeah, they force turnovers, but none of the turnovers came at the hand of Tom Brady where they punched the ball out or something like that. It was a turnover because of pressure. Even though, give them credit, they got the 4 takeaways. But I've always felt this was going to be a very difficult game. Now you lose Lyle Collins, and you're facing a premier pass rusher in Joey Bosa. And so with that being said, I'm sure they would like to get Zeke involved, but Skip, we're going to talk about this later. They transitioned away from that. You don't pay a guy $40 million and say, we want you to hand the ball off 30 times. You do that because you expect him to be able to throw the ball, spread the ball around the field. And when I look at Rashawn Slater, who did an unbelievable job last week against Chase Young, Balaga, now he's been nicked up a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see if he can go. But if they got those two bookends, they should be set. Because now, with no D-Law, with no Randy Gregory, possibly no Randy Gregory, we don't know yet. They haven't told.
I would pretty much say no Randy Gregory.
Oh, man. Yeah. You say that. Look, you all down. I'm sorry.
Tell me when it's my turn.
It's not your turn just yet. Skip, look, I think this is going to be a very high-scoring game because it seems to me that's all Dallas is in. It's very high-scoring games. Dak's throwing the football around. And so with that being said, I'm going to take the Chargers to win a very close ball game, seemingly maybe like the game we saw last night, a walk-off field goal to win it. I'm going to take the Chargers 34-31. I think there'll be a lot of points scored in this ball game, but I'm going to take the Chargers in a very close ball game and a walk-off, 34-31.
Wow, you're going to give us a walk-off loss. That's pretty good, right?
I mean, y'all in the moral
Would that be another moral victory? Yeah. That means we'd be 2-0 in the moral victory column?
Yes, unfortunately, there is not a column for those.
That is big of you. I'm going to remind our viewing audience that a couple days this week, earlier this week, the Hall of Famer across from me, Mr. Shannon Sharpe, said, you guys, Cowboys, will probably win that game at Chargers. You said that a couple times on the show. And now we get to D-Day, Friday, reckoning day for Shannon Sharpe, and he has now flipped it around to Chargers will win on a walk-off field goal.
Well, I didn't know you was going to be without Gregory, without D-Law.
Okay. All right, now it is my turn. I'm about to tell you why I believe my team will win this game.
Okay.
I believe my season will start Sunday at SoFi Stadium. It will be so fine for us. It is the Super Bowl site coming up next February.
Enjoy it because you won't be back.
And who knows? I'm not going to go that far, but who knows? Crazier things have happened.
Nothing that crazy has ever happened.
And I'm going to remind you that everybody who is lost on my team right now will be found by midseason. I think even DeMarcus Lawrence will be back sometime midseason. He did have to have some surgery yesterday on his little toe, which got fractured. I just believe in 8 weeks or so he will return.
Little toes, that woo.
Okay, but I think they got it fixed, and I think he is a warrior, and I think he will be back. And I know Lyle Collins will be back because he's just suspended for 5 games, so he will get healthier and healthier through that time off, right?
Yep.
And I believe Randy Gregory will not be able to play this week, but he definitely will be able to play the following week as he comes off the COVID list. And I believe Michael Gallup with a strained calf muscle, 3-4 weeks, we'll be back. So all the above will come back right on time as we start to heat up through what gets to be an easier and easier to me schedule. But this is a tricky game because this is at the team that went to Washington on opening day and held them off 20-16, while the quarterback Justin Herbert converted 14 of 19 third downs.
Right.
I will give you all of the above. But all I know is that I liked my team going into opening night at Tampa. I told you it was the most unfair opening night circumstance that you could ever throw a team into because you're playing a team that is coming off defending championship. And I believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win all 20 games this year. I believe that Tom Brady, we're going to talk about him. He's now saying he could play until 50. I believe that at 44, he's playing at as high a level as he's played at in his entire career. That's what you faced on opening night at GOAT. And what did you see on opening night?
A loss for y'all.
You saw nothing but greatness from my team. You saw shock. You saw awe. You saw, wait a second, they look a lot better than I thought they were going to look. You saw Dak Prescott, to me, play the greatest game of his Cowboy career. And he's had a bunch of good ones, but that was a great one. And it went all the way down to, speaking of, a walk-off field goal. It took the GOAT all the way to the bitter end for my Dallas Cowboys to pull it out. And along the trail, my kicker, Zerline, coming off back surgery, left 7 points on the table because he missed 2 field goals that he usually makes. Even though one was from 60, he's Greg the leg, right?
But I love how you just saying about what Cowboys did and didn't do. But what about Godwin fumbling on the 2?
Okay, he did. But my guy CD, and I love CD, this is going to be a breakout year, and this is going to be a breakout game for him at Chargers. He dropped 3 passes. Huge. He killed the first drive all by himself. That will not happen this Sunday. I believe there was big carryover. I told you Hard Knocks was nothing but great for my team. It was a springboard into the first game. It made them all feel a little better about themselves because they were on stage where America's team is supposed to be. And they took that momentum right into Tampa and played the hell out of them. Just played them right down to the last drop of that game. And I thought it was the greatest loss in Cowboy history. And I'm not kidding about that. It was such a great loss. I actually petitioned the league office to consider it a tie because they effectively tied the GOAT at the GOAT. Am I right?
No, you're not right.
No. I'm feverish because I'm on fire with my team. Okay? So I love it that this week all I heard was doom and gloom. Oh, no, they lost him, and then they lost him, and then him, and him, and him, and him. I don't care. I'm only worried about who is there. Is my quarterback still healthy? Yeah, I think he is. Yeah. Coming off his greatest game ever. Is my running back fresh? Because he barely carried the ball. He had some great blitz pickup, and boy, he knocked the soup out of Devin White a couple times, didn't he? Okay, but is he fresh and ready to tote the rock? Yes, he is. And I believe you're going to see a lot of this on Sunday because I believe they will balance it up. I believe that as I looked at the Chargers last year, they ranked 18th against the run. I know they got Derwin James back, but I think they are just average against the run. And I think you will see that we will eat. We will eat as a team, and we will be far more balanced than 58 passes to only 18 runs.
I think the thing is, Skip, you know Gus Bradley, and you know he's a very simplistic guy. He's a cover one robber, what we used to call lurk. They drop the safety down to get that 8th guy in the box to stop the run. So you're going to get a lot of single coverage outside. With that being said, I got a $40 million quarterback. They dropping the 8th guy down in the box. What do you think we should do? With CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper singled up one-on-one outside, what do you think they should do?
Okay. A couple of times they scored against the box the other day. When the box was loaded on the Thursday night opener, Zeke had a couple of nice runs. He had a 13-yard run against the loaded box, and he had a big 2-yard run for a first down on a key 3rd down against the box.
Yards, huh?
No, but he got it all by his lonesome. And I'm just saying you're going to see more of that. I think they will say, damn the box this time. You can bring up the safety all you want to, and I think they will bang Zeke because they will try to wear them down and out. Okay. And I think they will be far more successful. But speaking of my 2 stud receivers, they're both upright. They're healthy. They're eligible. They're not on the COVID list. They're good to go. I've got them. I got little Cedric Wilson in the slot where he belongs, and I think he's going to do some damage on a little Edelman-like option routes.
You know, Amari done got his one good road game out the way, right?
What'd you say yesterday? It's early. He'll be good in this road game, right? It's not cold. It's going to be warm in SoFi, right? It's not against Stephon Gilmore up in New England. It's not at Philly for all the marbles at the end of the year.
So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correct. You're back on the Amari train now, correct?
Well, so far, so good. Well, where was opening night? Was it at home? No, it was there. Was he pretty good? Yeah, he's pretty great down at Tampa,
so
right?
You back all in on Amari?
I'm all in on my team because I love. Here's my point about this game. When I first started covering the NBA back in the mid-1970s, going into the 80s, there was a theory that abounded, and it was called the wounded tiger theory. And the theory said that beware the injured team, especially in the regular season, because when you think, oh, they lost 2 starters.
Right.
They will rise up. They will play inspired. That was basketball, but they will play inspired basketball, and they will play way over their heads because they're playing a little desperate. They're playing a little good scared. That's what my team will play, because my team does not want to fall to 0-2, because I believe my team thinks it will win the East. I've said it from the start. I have a new feeling about this team. I like its spirit. I like its firepower. I think they know they're pretty good. And I think they know they can go play with the Chargers, who barely overcame Washington at Washington. Yeah. And I think you're going to see this team play a little desperate, a little scared in a good way, and you're going to see the very best of my Dallas Cowboys, because enough of them, let's not talk about who's not there. Let's talk about who is there, because Zach Martin is going to be back at right guard, and he is the ultimate road grader. You know it, and I know it. He will open holes in a stack box for Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke behind Zach. Watch, listen, learn.
You know what I love? I want to know, why did you use that phrase, wounded tiger, when you guys have been lame ducks for the last 2.5 years? Stop trying to, what you're trying to do is accentuate what you actually are. I mean, you haven't made the playoffs in the last 2 years, Skip. Okay. So now all of a sudden you feel so good.
It's a new day and a new dawn, and I got my quarterback back.
You had him last week.
I did, and he played his greatest game ever.
And you lost.
And he is the $75 million man this year, and I think that has inspired him. I think he is on a new mission to say, I can live up. It's time to break through. And by the way, I called him out earlier this week. He has lost now his last 6 road games. Okay. It's time to stop the trend. He is now 6-13 in his last 19 road games. Okay. It's time to reverse that curse. He is now 6-12 overall in his last 18 games that he started, just as a starter. 6-12 in his last 18 Cowboy starts. Yeah. It's time to start going north here. And I like his new attitude. I like his new composure. I like the peace that his
attitude looks the same to me. It looks like he's the same type of guy. But you said they're on a new mission. But they started the new mission just like they did all the old missions, with an L. And somehow you returned that because he threw for 400-plus yards, and they looked good, but they lost.
Did they not play the best team by far on their schedule in the opener?
No, we don't know if that's...
I do. I know that. I'm already, one of us goes out on the limb on this show. And I went way to the very tip end of the limb, and I said, they are going to go 20-0 with the Bucs.
With that being said, just because the Cowboys played the best team, that doesn't mean they're not allowed to beat them. Basically what you're saying is because Tampa is so good, it's no harm in losing them. Yes, it is. It is a shame that you lost this game. You can beat the Buccaneers. There's no law in the NFL that says, you know what, whomever we think the best team is, you shouldn't be allowed to beat them. Is that what you're going with that?
Okay, I'm going with that. I thought it was completely unfair. My team did not deserve to be in that game because, to your point, they did not earn the right last year to be in that game. They finished third in the worst division in the history of professional football. And they have missed the playoffs for 2 straight years. And now you're going to throw them to the Wolves at Tampa Bay on opening night. They didn't earn the right to be thrown to the Wolves.
Okay, but here's the same thing. You say they missed the playoffs the last 2 years. Well, here you are jumping out there saying they're about to be 12-5, and they're one of the better teams in the NFC.
I am, and I stand by that. And they are going to run away with the NFC East.
No, they're not.
I cannot wait to talk about Taylor Heineke.
You saw what he did.
And you're spouting off over there about Taylor Heineke? Are you kidding? It was hard for you to even remember whether he was Taylor or Tyler Heineke, and now he is officially Taylor. Yeah. He became a made man last night because, wait a second, because Dexter Lawrence jumped off sides? That's all you got? Really? They lose. He loses if not for an idiotic mistake by a guy who's lined up right over the football, right?
It happens sometimes.
Oh, it happens.
But let's talk about, let's talk about your team.
Yes,
We're going to talk about the Washington.
Yes.
They won. Yeah. All I know is they got a victory.
Okay, my team still has Ty Smith at left tackle. He still might be the best left tackle in football. And I believe that Connor McGovern, who had a great game at right guard and plays with Zach Martin, I think they might just slide him over to center where he played at Penn State. Let's get Tyler Biadasz on the bench for a while and let him cool out and grow up a little bit.
The man just got there.
Okay, well, he did. Well, he was the weak link, and Vita Vea was just,
You make it seem like it's a shame that he got beat by Vita Vea. Well, a lot of guys going to get beat by Vita Vea.
Okay, and I still have my 2 tight ends. You hate one of them because he can't block. Blake Jarwin, as I've called him Shannon Jarwin, so maybe he's taken after you because you weren't the greatest blocker, right?
I know.
Okay.
I was never like that.
Okay.
That's what he should call him Tim Tebow. That's a Tebow block.
Okay, all right, I'll give you all that, but he can still catch it in ways Tim Tebow never dreamed of catching the football. And Dalton Schultz is pretty quietly, he's kind of sneaky good, isn't he?
Yeah,
all those guys are still, they're eligible to play on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then on defense, you know, the harder I looked at what happened last Thursday night, the more I said, Micah Parsons was the best player on my defense, including D. Law or Randy Gregory, whoever else you want to throw in there.
Throwing him to the wolves,
hey, Micah Parsons is a difference maker. He is a game wrecker, and I think you're going to see him in all his glory because they didn't play him total snaps the other night. They would mix and match with Jalen Smith and Wolf Hunter and obviously Keanu Neal. They all played pretty to very well, but Micah was the guy who was disrupting the other night. Watch what he does. He will play every defensive snap, and don't be surprised if you don't see him with his hand in the proverbial dirt. It's not dirt, but he's going to put his hand out, and he's going to rush off the edge the way Randy Gregory was going to rush off the edge.
I know Rashawn Slater is licking his chops if he see Micah Parsons rushing off the edge. But you forgot, did you forget that the Chargers have weapons? Keenan Allen, Williams, Eckler, Jared Cook.
They're very
that
good
quarterback, their quarterback is very, very good, and he's only getting better by the snap.
Well, guess what? My defense is up against it. It is handicapped. It is proverbial wounded tigers everywhere. In fact, it's so bad that they said Donovan Wilson has not been practicing with the groin, and he might not be able to go. I might even be down one of my safeties. Kazee is on the injury report. He's got something going on with him. So Malik Hooker, who they just picked up, he may be in my starting lineup for all I know, and I don't care because I like what my new coordinator, Dan Quinn, I like the way he attacked the game at GOAT, the way, remember Jerry Glanville, another ex-Atlanta coach? Remember how he used to play it? He would just say, I'm coming after you with everybody. They were blitzing a lot. Unfortunately, they were blitzing the greatest quarterback who ever played, and he picked it to pieces.
This is what Justin Herbert's going to do.
Okay, well, we'll see about that because I think we're going to be coming from everywhere. I think Jalen Smith, the one thing he still does at a high level, he is a good blitzer. He's got a little kamikaze in him, and I think you're going to see Dallas Cowboys flying everywhere because what the hell? Just let it fly and see what you can do. We're wounded tigers.
Why you got to go throw caution to the wind when you got Dak Prescott? This game should be a blowout for you guys. You guys should win this game.
Blowout?
You got Dak. You just touted the man. Talking about he got all this all week long for the last 2 weeks. You talk about my quarterback got the 5th best odds. My quarterback is a $75 million man. My quarterback. So why are you talking about they got to throw caution to the wind? This should be a breeze for Dak Prescott in that offense. Amari Cooper, C.D. Lamb, Cedric Wilson, Ezekiel Elliott, Ty Smith, Zach Martin.
Wait a second. I'm not in the Hall of Fame. You are, and you picked the home team.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so what are you talking about, breeze?
No, but you're saying the defense should go kamikaze. Why do they need to go all of that with your guys?
Because we're wounded tight. We've lost 5 starters. We're down to nothing.
You just told me you don't care about who's not there. Let's talk about who's there. That's what you just told me.
Micah Parsons, the Hall of Famer across from me, said Micah Parsons pre-draft was the best defensive player in the draft. Thank you for that. You know what? You just might be right. I was all about Patrick Surtain, and I still think he's going to make 10 straight Pro Bowls. Yeah. But Micah Parsons might just be one level up because he can just take over an entire football game. And I think you're going to start seeing the first flashes of that Sunday at SoFi Stadium.
Skip, you got Ty Smith. Ty Smith one day is going to be where, Skip? He's going to have a resident. He's going to have an apartment in Canton. Zach Martin. One day is going to have an apartment in Canton.
They're both in my starting lineup.
Yes, exactly. And you got Zeke Elliott, who's a 2-time rush champ. And you got Amari Cooper, who you said is the best route runner. And you got C.D. Lamb saying, he's about to take that next step. And we got little old Ced Wilson. We put him in the slot, throwing about 5 or 6 passes. Why you got to do all that on defense if you got those guys? Just have Dak, Dak, win this game in a breeze for us. If he is what you said he is.
He will win this game. It is time for Dak Prescott, the face of this franchise, to rise and shine and win a big road game, a turnaround road game, because you better be careful. If we win this like I think we will, we are off to the races because the schedule allows us then to really pick up momentum.
What happens if you lose this game like I think you will? Then what?
We'll talk about it on Monday, but I don't want to talk about a hypothetical that's not going to happen.
Tell me.
Why should I talk about the negative when I'm all positive?
Hold on. Tell me,
My glass isn't half full. It's almost full.
You just told me you didn't want to talk about a hypothetical, but you said if we win this game, I think we're going to take off. Is that not a hypothetical?
Well, that's my prediction. So,
what's your prediction? What's your score?
My score is we are going to reverse the opening night score, which was 31-29 on the walk-off field goal at GOAT.
Okay.
We're going to reverse it. We're going to win 31-29 at SoFi Stadium.
So we got the same score for Dallas. We just got another team having a few more points than the other team.
Yeah.
So we're clawing. You and I both believe this will be a close game.
Because the Chargers don't have Tom Brady. They have one of the great young quarterbacks, but he's not the GOAT just yet. Maybe he'll turn into the GOAT. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens because this we can handle.
He don't need to be the GOAT. He just needs to be better than Dak on Sunday.
Okay, will he be?
I believe so.
Okay. If you give me the 3.5 points.
Nope, I ain't give you nothing. I give you what
not?
the score. Nope.
Well, wait a second. I at least deserve the 3.5.
First of all, my quarterback makes a measly little $5 million a year.
Yep.
Your quarterback makes $75 million.
Okay,
so
one case, give me 3.5 points.
No.
Put your due where your mouth is. You don't have any guts because you know.
Straight up.
No, straight up. I got 3.5.
No, you don't.
Going once, twice, gone. No guts, no glory from the Hall of Famer. He does not have the courage of his convictions.
We will do it like we.
I'm the underdog. I'm the hopeless underdog here. I at least deserve 3.5 points.
Well, we gonna treat
In fact, I'm going to do you one favor. I'll take 3 period points.
Nope.
3 points right now for just one case. You can start to climb back into the case race.
Well, you know what? How about this? We do it like they do at the car shows. Barrett Jackson and Meekum. We'll talk about this off air. We didn't come to a conclusion when it was on the block, so we'll just move to the side and we'll work out something between you and I.
Somebody is afraid of my Dallas Cowboys.
All right. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.